What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 5th day of working on the first house project. Okay, so today the plan of attack is going to be to hopefully finish installing this entire floor. It could either go, one of two ways. It's either gonna go really bad and I'm not gonna finish, or really good and we're gonna get it done. We're gonna see, doing the other corners over here in that door helped me a lot. Ended up learning a lot from it. Hopefully everything goes smooth. I had a busy day today, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to work on this. Anyways, enough talking, let's just get right into it. Okay, let's do this thing. It's always a struggle for me to get going at the beginning of the day whenever I start working on the project, but once I get going, it's a little bit smooth. Hopefully today I don't crash out as much as yesterday. But let's see what we do with this corner right here. Okay, so first I can already tell, obviously, like yesterday, I didn't go deep enough. That's why I had to redo the whole floor. So what I'm gonna do is, before anything else, I'm gonna cut all the door frames higher, just so I can get that clearance that I'm looking for. Remember, safety first. Always protect your eyes and ears if necessary. Like always, remove the rest with the chisel. Of course, we gotta clean this up. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting one. I still have no idea how I'm gonna do this yet. Okay, I think I figured out how I'm gonna get this measurement. I'm gonna put the piece of laminate right there at the edge, just to kind of know how long I need to go. Then what I'm gonna do is get my speed square. Measure out the distance. Cool, got my distance. Then I'm gonna put it back here so I can figure out how thick I want the piece. Okay, that's how thick that edge is going to be when it goes in there. Now that I have that thickness, now I need to figure out how far down I need to go so I can make this L-shaped cut here, and so this could slide in smoothly. I'm gonna put this back real quick because I think I could get the measurement with this back. Okay, so knowing that I'm gonna cut right here and this is how thick it's going to be, going to measure, I might cut around there. Obviously I'm being a little bit more conservative. I might have to recut it, but we're gonna see how it turns out. Make sure it's straight as possible. And that's the part that I'm gonna cut out. This is also why my pieces have been getting chipped, because I've been dropping them by mistake. See that? See how this turns out. Of course it's not going because I didn't cut deep enough in there. I think what I'm gonna do instead is actually end up cutting this piece a little bit further back, the exact distance it needs to fit under there, because it looks like once I put in the next piece, it's gonna have to slide out to this one, and it'll be tucked in there enough where I can just worry about that length portion of it on the next piece instead of this one. So I'm just gonna cut it here. So I need to get a measurement from where it's hitting at so I can know how much space I need to have here for this piece. Looks like I need to have 1 inch. So let's go ahead and measure 1 inch. Then we can cut that and see how it looks. So the whole thing has to be 1 inch shorter. So this whole setup right here has to move back 1 inch. Okay, so those are the pieces I have to cut off now. Just barely. I might be able to squeeze it in, but I just don't think I'm gonna have that gap. Actually, let's try that. I think the gap is fine. This just has to be a little shorter. That looks good. Now I just really have to tap it in. I would call that successful if I do say so myself. Let's move on to this row. I think I'm not gonna have to make any cuts because of the edge of this other row is right at the end. So it should be a lot easier up until this point. I can't even imagine how this hole is gonna be. Or that one. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I'm right on this one. First try. Let's go. And we barely got a gap. Perfect. Man, it's crazy to think, like, when you do something with no experience and you have no idea what's going on, you have a certain plan at the beginning of how things are gonna go, and then you just start getting ideas and start getting creative. Like last night, I was thinking about what I wanted to do to the bathroom itself and the rest of the house, and doing this floor these past couple of days has really inspired me to change things up and how I want the house to look like. Looks like this one's gonna be just a full piece. Not too bad, let's go. And then there was 3. So I think this side is just gonna be a regular one as well. And then the other one is when it's gonna start getting complicated for sure. That one's probably gonna be a little struggle, but we can get through it. For this one, I'm just gonna line it up with this previous one. Speed square to the end. And that's all she wrote. Well, I will say things are about to get a lot more complicated. Why does it keep moving? Make sure to always check your spaces because the floor is always moving. Even though the floor is this big, it still somehow moves. Obviously, because it's a free floating floor, so it's kind of annoying because it always catches me off guard. Anyways, back to this. Can't get anything in there. It looks like it's gonna be too thick. What I really don't want to do is have to cut a really thin piece of floor just so I can get it there. I'm really at a loss for words here. That goes to show how experienced I am when it comes to this. I have no idea what to do. It's a little too thick, and it feels like it's a little too small to add a piece of wood there. I'm so lost. I'm just gonna keep adding and then get back to this once I finish this row, because I don't have the mental fortitude to think about this right now. But first, I'm gonna cut all these door frames a little bit deeper and then add this, and then finish adding this row. All right, y'all, back at one of these doorways. Finish this last row. It really shows you the imperfections of your floor. Like over here is a little bit thicker than over here. The floor is slightly at an angle. I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna stress over it too much. I already know what I'm gonna do for these little gaps and how to fill them up where it looks actually natural and part of the floor. But I'm actually gonna worry about that tomorrow. Right now, today, I actually just plan on at least installing everything all the way to the back in that little area right here, and in the closet area as well. And any little gaps or imperfections, I plan on fixing tomorrow. Now, to get this little measurement, we're gonna put it here, get our length, get our thickness. Okay, that's how it's supposed to sit. So, we need to make our cuts from here. So ideally, I would like to get it cut somewhere around that area. We're gonna go right here for that cut. And then how deep it should go should be the length of this, 2.5. We're gonna go 2 inches in length. Let me grab the speed square instead. We're gonna cut it right here, 2 inches in length. Join it. Take it to the grinder. Let's see if I can finally get one of these doorway cuts first try. I lied. I'm not gonna get it first try. I still need to cut the length right here. I'm gonna take it as a first try. I didn't get it first try. I think I have to thin this out a bit. Maybe come a little bit more forward. That's a little thick. I think I'm just gonna go around here in thickness. Wow. Just a tiny hair short. All right, let's try this. I did have to cut a little bit off here because it didn't fit. Not too bad. Now let's lock it in. Okay, that's what we're gonna do with that. Let me show you what I'm gonna do moving forward. Okay, for example, on this doorway, I'm kind of just gonna get a piece and just continue it straight like that. I think this one's actually almost the perfect length, but I might just put straight pieces down this room, and then over there on the closet I might stagger them. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna do this one with just straight pieces of laminate. By straight, I mean stacked on top of each other like that. Maybe I'll throw in some of the extra pieces that I have, but we're gonna see what happens. I'll tell you what, I have no idea how I'm gonna get these measurements. Maybe I'll cut really deep under these door frames so I can kind of get some wiggle room to kind of angle it in like that and drop it in there. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do now. I think I'm gonna cut this one a lot deeper, maybe all the way until here. And just so I can fit a piece in here, and then any little gap there, I should be able to kind of cut a tiny piece of laminate and kind of install it there to kind of close that hole up as much as possible. All right, y'all, I ended up getting some pretty deep cuts in there. Here's what I plan on doing next here. I'm gonna get this measurement, the length of this, 22.5. Doesn't matter what side I cut it because both sides are gonna be close to the wall. Gonna go 22.5. All right, fits in there how I want it to. Okay, then I'm going to figure out how much I need to cut. to bypass. Okay, so I have a new plan. I think I'm gonna do 2 pieces. One on this side, one on this side. Obviously, I have to do the right side first and then connect it somehow. Probably this way. And it's probably gonna be less of a headache if I do it that way than what I was trying to do. I think it's easier if I can just split this up into 2 different entities. Okay, we're gonna do 1.5 inches of depth. If I can find my freaking pencil. Where the heck is my pencil? Here it is. I'm gonna measure the outside. Take this out. Mark 1.5. Cut that out. Let's see. I think I have high hopes for this one. Can't lie, we take those, you know? We take those. We have that there, but that's minimal. All right, let's get our next cut to put right there. Cut that part out. Save this piece. We're gonna come in handy. Oh no, I did it backwards. Oh, I did it backwards, gangsters. Supposed to be, sorry, I did it backwards. What a mess, what a mess. What a waste of wood. Still don't even think it's gonna fit. Okay, so we did something. We did something. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did something. Oh, yeah. Yes. That's what I'm talking about there. That's what satisfaction feels like, baby. Would you look at that? Come on now. But now that gap right there, fat. Okay, let's continue adding some more rows in there so we can finally get to this final piece. So, okay, I'm on to the last piece here. I'm gonna use this to get my measurement. Hopefully you can see there. But as you can see, it's just a tiny bit long. Actually, I'm backwards. Just a tiny bit long. What we need to remove here is about 1 inch. We're gonna do 1 inch of length. I'm sorry, inch of width. And then 22.5 of length when we're measured. And that should wrap up this little room right here. And then hopefully we can move on to that one real quick and get it done fast. Finally installed every little piece in there. All the gaps are mint. Now we just got this left. All right, so the plan of attack here is probably gonna be the same thing I did over there actually. Kind of just separate them into 2 planks, kind of do the same type of style and get them wedged in there. Let's do that. Hopefully it turns out better. I just gotta gauge my measurements a little better. Obviously you saw me mess them up, kind of left that gap there, but I think I could do a little better job now. Let's give it a shot. So got that side in. For this side, I use the same measurements. I'm starting to notice now they're all kind of the same. It's 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And then you cut this like an H pattern, like a half an H pattern. If you look at it like this, like a half an H pattern. So let's cut that and let's throw this in. We're kind of doing this to make my life a little easier. Little cheater trick. You gotta be careful because you might cut your hands. It's always on camera when I can never get it to fit right. Always. We're gonna cut a little hair off right at the end. Let's try this meow. Okay, I think we're good there. That looks good to me. That looks perfect to me actually. I like that. Tap that in real quick. There you have it. We got the transitions done. We got the transitions done. Quick walk around. Oh man. I can see the finish line. I can taste it. I can taste it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna lock in and I'm gonna finish this last couple of rows. To start off, I'm gonna have to essentially use 2 pieces and kind of just cut right the end so I can start this line on both sides. Should be a pretty easy measurement, you know. Should just be an inch because I'm gonna take that quarter off. So I need to make sure there's only an inch left on the other pieces when I measure it. There should only be an inch. This is the thin piece I need to cut. Essentially fits like this, but as you can already tell, it's a little off. So I'm gonna cut off just a tiny little strip. Let me get a measurement for this side. It actually fits perfect on this side, so I'm just gonna leave it here and kind of make another one for the other side that's a little bit thinner than this one. Same length though, which is good. Now it doesn't clip onto this one, it's just gonna clip onto the back of the next one, and then that next one is gonna clip onto this. That's the goal. Got my 2 pieces cut, one for each side. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about here. So this piece is gonna get connected. Then this piece is gonna get mounted like that. It's gonna look something like that. That's what I'm gonna do here. And then that's what I'm gonna do here. Also, that's what I plan on doing on those gaps right there, just to fill them in a little bit more before I put the trim on. All right, guys. So this is what I was talking about. Took me a little while because it's very finicky. You need to have the right touch. Kind of chip this, but I'm probably gonna cover that. It's getting late, it's 5:30, but I have to finish. I'm so close, I have to finish. I have to do it. Literally just that piece, which might be an issue because it might move the wood, but we're gonna see what happens. And then just this layer, and then a thin layer in the back. Perfect. Have to be real gentle here, guys. Little love taps. I know there's barely any gap there, but I can just fix that later with an oscillating tool. The job is not finished, and I'm gonna finish it. Of course, I put it backwards, like always. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Oh, come on. Oh, this is gonna ruin everything. There's nothing I can do about this right now. There's legit nothing I can do. I can't prevent it from moving, like it just wants to freaking move. And I can't tap this in. This thing is a struggle for real, guys. I don't even know what to do. I can't even move it, like, up. I'm gonna do it like this. That's the best I can do there, guys. That is the best I can do there. Okay, guess I figured out a technique to get that back in there if I have to. Man, that thing sucks. But then, of course, this side falls out. All right, you know what? I'm gonna call it wraps there. I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. Well, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I'm defeated. I gotta take a step back, come at this again tomorrow with a fresh mind, cause, oh man, I've been struggling, especially on that last piece. Definitely gonna do some more planning whenever I go to the next room to make sure I have everything laid out the way it's supposed to in a good manner, so stuff like that doesn't have to happen, or I can prevent it from happening. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna go to the gym and get my gains in. Stay tuned for tomorrow, where we hopefully finish up this room and start installing some trim. Peace.